The funeral of Ethel Kennedy, an enduring symbol of resilience, philanthropy, and dedication to social causes, was a private but poignant affair attended by members of the prominent Kennedy family on Monday. The 96-year-old matriarch, wife of the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy, had passed away on Thursday, leaving behind a legacy shaped by a lifetime of devotion to family, justice, and advocacy. Her death marked the end of an era for one of America's most storied families, concluding nearly a century of her life, marked by love, tragedy, and activism. The solemn service took place at Our Lady of Victory Church in Centerville, Massachusetts, a small, serene town about 70 miles south of Boston. The skies were gray, casting a somber atmosphere over the gathering, which included Ethel's children, grandchildren, and extended family members. The quiet dignity of the event reflected Ethel's understated strength and grace, traits she had exhibited throughout a life filled with both profound joy and unimaginable sorrow. Her family had expressed their deep love and respect in a public statement, highlighting the expansive family network she leaves behind, including 9 surviving children, 34 grandchildren, and 24 great-grandchildren. Ethel's life was interwoven with America's political and social fabric, particularly through her marriage to Robert F. Kennedy in 1950. Their union represented more than the joining of two people. It united two powerful families and set the stage for a shared commitment to public service. Ethel's unwavering support for her husband's ambitions helped drive the Kennedy legacy, reinforcing the family's devotion to social justice, human rights, and political reform. Their marriage was marked by shared values and ideals, with Ethel standing beside her husband as he became Attorney General under his brother, President John F. Kennedy, and later as he launched his own campaign for the presidency. Tragedy struck Ethel's life in 1963 when President John F. Kennedy, her brother-in-law, was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. This heartbreaking event deeply affected her family and marked the beginning of a series of devastating losses. Despite the grief, Ethel maintained her strength, becoming an anchor for her husband and the rest of the Kennedy family. Just 5 years later, Ethel faced an even more personal loss when her beloved husband, Robert, was fatally shot in the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles on June 5, 1968. He had just claimed victory in California's Democratic presidential primary and seemed poised for a potential run to the White House. Ethel, who was by his side that night, would later rarely speak of the assassination, choosing instead to channel her pain into a life dedicated to his memory and the causes they had championed together. Following Robert's death, Ethel demonstrated remarkable resilience and strength as she continued to raise their 11 children. Her ability to shoulder the responsibilities of both mother and father inspired many. The Kennedy household became a symbol of perseverance, filled with the echoes of Robert's ideals and the resilience of Ethel's spirit. She faced widowhood and the struggles of raising a large family with courage, guided by the principle that service to others was paramount. The tragic deaths of several of her children and nephews over the years, including David in 1984, Michael in 1997, and her nephew John F. Kennedy Jr. in 1999, would test her resolve. Yet she remained a pillar of support for her family and a steadfast figure in the public's eye. Ethel's commitment to justice extended beyond her role as a mother. In 1968, following Robert's death, she founded the Robert F. Kennedy Center for Justice and Human Rights, now RFK Human Rights, an organization dedicated to advocating for the causes her husband held dear. Ethel was known for her passionate dedication to issues such as civil rights, poverty alleviation, and environmental protection. She advocated for stricter gun control laws, spoke out against racial injustice, and stood by those who faced persecution and oppression worldwide. Through her organization, Ethel helped foster a new generation of leaders committed to advancing the principles of equity, justice, and human dignity. Her work, alongside other social justice initiatives, has had a lasting impact, ensuring that the legacy of her husband and the broader Kennedy family would continue to influence future generations. President Joe Biden, in a statement following Ethel's passing, described her as an American icon, a matriarch of optimism and moral courage, an emblem of resilience and service. Ethel's legacy as a champion for social change was widely recognized, both for her philanthropic work and for her steadfast support of her husband's and her children's ambitions. Her influence extended well beyond the Kennedy family and inspired countless Americans to pursue public service and stand up for those who could not stand up for themselves. She leaves behind a legacy of compassion and moral integrity that resonates with many across the nation and serves as a testament to her lifelong dedication to justice. Ethel's life was not only marked by political and social advocacy, but also by a deep commitment to family. Despite the spotlight that often shone on her, she remained dedicated to nurturing her children, instilling in them the values of kindness, generosity, and service. The Kennedy family has been a prominent fixture in American public life for decades, and much of that legacy can be attributed to Ethel's influence. Her children and grandchildren have continued the family's tradition of public service and activism, carrying forward the ideals she and Robert cherish. Ethel was especially close to her youngest daughter, Rory, who was born just months after Robert's death, and many remarked on the special bond they shared. In her later years, Ethel delighted in spending time with her numerous grandchildren and great-grandchildren, passing down family stories and wisdom gathered over a lifetime. As one of the last members of the Kennedy generation that included President John F. Kennedy, Ethel's passing is indeed the end of an era. Her life, however, remains a source of inspiration, exemplifying resilience in the face of tragedy and an unyielding dedication to creating a better world. Her presence will be missed not only by her family but by the countless people whose lives were touched by her work and her example. The private nature of her funeral, though in stark contrast to the public lives led by many Kennedys, felt fitting for a woman who, despite the limelight, held her family close and cherished the moments of privacy and peace. Mourners at the service reflected on her legacy of compassion, resilience, and faith. Ethel's faith was a guiding force throughout her life, and her dedication to the Catholic Church provided her with strength during some of her darkest moments. Her quiet but profound spirituality was well known to those closest to her, and she often turned to her faith for guidance in her family's most challenging times. The funeral service at Our Lady of Victory was a testament to this faith, a small and intimate gathering to honor a woman who had lived with grace, humility, and a sense of purpose. Ethel's life serves as a reminder of the extraordinary impact one person can have when they dedicate themselves to the service of others. Her unwavering commitment to justice, her dedication to her family, and her enduring legacy in the field of human rights ensure that she will not be forgotten. Her memory lives on not only in the hearts of her family, but also in the many lives she touched through her philanthropy and advocacy. As her family mourns her passing, they also celebrate a life that was both extraordinary and deeply human, a life marked by love, compassion, and an unbreakable spirit. The Kennedy family, with all its history, tragedies, and triumphs, continues to be a fixture in the American psyche, and Ethel's contributions to that legacy cannot be overstated. She was the embodiment of strength in the face of hardship, a beacon of hope during times of despair, and a reminder that one's legacy is built not by the titles they hold but by the lives they touch. The impact of Ethel Kennedy's life will resonate for generations to come, a testament to her enduring spirit and the timeless values she upheld.